Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. In this video we're gonna just talk about using JWT with Fiber. So it's gonna be a pretty simple video. We're just gonna see how we can protect some route and how we can after that get the user from the JWT token claim and stuff like that. It's gonna be a pretty simple one. You can have just look at the recipe Fiber app. They have a lot of recipe. If you go to Go Fiber recipe, they have a lot of that with the aldousery and other JWT and stuff like that. I really encourage you to look at those. But I mean, I'm gonna just make a video and maybe just show you some stuff you maybe don't see there. And I take a lot of ID from them, but I'm gonna show you how I've used it in some of stuff. So as you know, Go Fiber, Fiber is it's an Express-like framework for Golang. So in Express, we use a lot of the time Passport and other stuff like that. But I mean, sometimes Passport is kind of like not overkill, but it's when you just want to have a JWT middleware, it's not something like I think it's pretty big. So but in this one you're gonna see then you can have done almost the same pattern in Express but without any library. So Go Fiber have created this JWT middleware. That's gonna be the one we're gonna use. They have a lot of stuff pretty nice, like a lot of stuff we can use and make our life a lot simpler. And yeah, it's really good, and I feel like I'm really excited with Fiber, so I hope you're gonna be too. So we're gonna start the project. The first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna create a project. I'm gonna use Golang. You can use VS Code, whatever you use. I'm gonna make it like a Go module. I'm gonna say Go Fiber JWT tutorial. You can call that the name as you want. I'm using a Go version 1.14.5. Okay, so Golang did create for me the module. You can do the same for you if you do Go mod init. So in your project you do Go mod init and whatever the name you want to put there. So the first thing I want to install is gonna be Air. So Air, for those coming from Node, it's like a Node mod. And also I did show you that in my introduction to Fiber other video. And I'm gonna link the video in the description if you want to look at that. It's like an introduction to Fiber himself and Air and stuff like that. But yeah, this video is gonna really just focus on the JWT part. After that, I want to also get Fiber. So it's the two things we want. So now we get Air, we get Fiber. It's good to go. And that was a really bad joke. I'm gonna create a main file with the package main. We're gonna put that everything in the same file. You should not do this. I just do this because the tutorial is gonna be pretty simple. So the first thing we want to do is to create a main function. And after that, what we want to do is to create our app. So for creating our app, what we need to do is to create a Fiber new application like that. After that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create here a route, just slash, who's gonna take a function with the context Fiber, and his only job is gonna be to send, not send status, but send hello world. So this one's gonna be to test the fact that just a slash is not authenticated and you can get hello world without getting authenticated. And after that here, we're gonna listen. So like we do in Express and everything. And this thing can return an error. And when you have an error, for now, we're gonna just panic with the error, okay? You can run your project with Go run and etc. or clicking on the plus the play here. But the thing is, I want to get the auto refresh, so I'm gonna just put Air. So they're gonna do a live reload. And now we're gonna be able to use it in Postman. So if you go to Postman and you type HTTP localhost 3000 and you click send, we're gonna get hello world. Now I just want to get some middleware who are gonna help us, and one of them is gonna be the logger. So by having the logger, at least we're gonna be able to see the route and everything, plus the status right there. So we get a 200 on get slash, that's perfect. So now we want to create a route with a protected route. So for the protected route, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create that right there, and that's gonna be get slash, and we're gonna say hello, okay? So that this route, we want to say hello to a certain user, but we also want to make sure that this route is not accessible for those who are not logged in our app. So the first thing we should do is to create our logging handler, so where we're gonna get back the JWT token. So for that, I'm gonna do a post request slash login, and I'm gonna do a login like that. I'm gonna, after that, create the function, and now I'm gonna get with the CTX fiber, and I don't care to get uppercase L because we don't gonna export this thing. And let me 1 sec, I'm gonna just put that in the Zen mode, that's gonna be easier for you. Perfect. So now what we can do with the logging is gonna be a pretty simple job of just getting email and password, and just check if the email and password match a certain one. We're not gonna create a user in the database and stuff like that. That's gonna be inside another video. For this video, we just want it simple. So we're gonna do a type request. It's gonna be a struct with an email type of string and a password string like that. After that, we're gonna create our body variable. It's gonna be a type of request, and after that I'm gonna do a CTX that body parser like I show you in the other video. This is how you can after that parse the JSON. This thing can return an error. If you have an error here, we're gonna send a CTX status fiber bad request, so for 400, and we're gonna send a JSON response with a fiber that map, so that let you create finally a map to return for your JSON. And here inside the error, we're gonna say cannot parse JSON. Again, this thing like I showed you in the other video should have been done, not show you but told you, you should create some helper. It's gonna help you a lot. So now here I'm gonna return to make sure I stop my function if we get there. So this thing's gonna happen if the user send an empty JSON request, so not even an object. So that's gonna be when that's gonna happen. After that, here we have access after that to the email and password of the user of this request. So now we're gonna just check if the body.email do not match bob.gmail.com, or the body.password do not match password 123. So if they don't match those things, we're gonna send a status of fiber unauthorized to get a full one, and we're gonna send after that a JSON with a fiber map error unauthorized, not unauthorized but bad credential. We don't want to say, I see a lot of apps who say, hey, bad email and bad password, stuff like that. You should not. You should always send the same message for both if this is the email or password. The reason why, it's because if you say, hey, it's a bad email, the hacker know, okay, so I can try another email and find the user. But after that, if you say, hey, it's a bad password, they know, oh, now I got this email, it's a real one, so now I just need to find the password. So it's how I feel about it. So now we have the return, perfect. And now this is where we want to create the token. So for that, we're gonna use a library called JWT Go. It's 8,000 stars, so I think it's pretty much the most used one. So for that, I'm gonna just copy this link right there. I'm gonna go at the import. I'm gonna show you how you can import that pretty easily. I'm gonna just remove the HTTPS like that. And now here, I can do sync dependency. So now they install the dependency for me in my Go mod, and now I can use it. So for that, to create a token, it's pretty simple. You say token equal JWT.new, and here you need to put the signature method. So for that, I'm going to use HS256. If you want to read about those, you can just like find what they do and stuff like that. You can read them online and stuff like that. They just use like a kind of a crypto hash, and yeah, it's not my cup of tea. So here after that, I'm gonna create the claims. So for the claims, you do token claims like that, and you want to I don't know how to say that easily, but you want to finally map that to a type. So here that's going to be a map claim, and after that, this claim we can append some of the stuff. So this claim here, I'm going to say to the sub, so sub means subject, it's going to be equal to a certain thing. I don't want to put a number and stuff like that, because you're going to need to put that back at float 64 and stuff like that. And I just find it like simpler to go with a string. Plus, if you read the JWT spec, they're gonna say sub or subject should be a string. So after that, I'm gonna do a claim with an expired date. For now, we're gonna just use a really bad one where we're gonna say we just want time now. So right now we want to add an hour multiplied by 24. So we want a full day multiplied by 7. So we want a week finally. So you can put a comment and say a week. After that here, this is where we're gonna create the JWT token we're gonna return, so the signed string. So for that, you just do token that signed string, and now here you need to put a key interface who's gonna be finally your signature key. So to help myself here, I'm gonna create it as a constant. I'm gonna just say JWT secret, and I'm gonna just say a secret. It's a really awesome secret. You should not do this, but for this video, we're gonna do that. Like that. So we're gonna create the token with this secret. And the important part is you want the secret to be the same when you create the token and the same when you read the token. So this way you know then this is yours. After that, if this thing return an error, I'm gonna just return back a send status of Fiber internal server error. So a 500. Sorry. And after that, here this is where we're gonna return back Fiber OK, so status OK 200 with a JSON with a fiber.map, so an object back. Here we're gonna send back the token, so that's gonna be equal to the S right there. And after that, I want to send a user, so we're gonna fake back the fact that we return a user. So we're gonna return an inline struct where a user is gonna have an ID type of in JSON ID and an email type of string JSON email. And we already know, for the ID we're gonna put 1, so that's gonna be the same ID we put there. I don't really care about the fact that it's just like a demo, so it's just about how the JWT is gonna work, not really best practice in this case. And for the email, we know for sure that's gonna be bob.gmail. That's it. Okay. So now everything should work. So I'm gonna go to the post request /login, and I'm gonna click send. Now we get cannot parse JSON. Like I told you, we do send an empty JSON request, so we are not able to parse this thing. So I'm gonna send a raw JSON. I'm gonna make it a bit smaller. Now I'm gonna send email. So if I send just Bob and password 123, I should get back a full one because we get bad credential. But if I send bob.gmail.com, now we get back a token and a user like that. And now we want to use this token to be able to go to a route. But before that, we want to make sure that we're gonna protect a route to see if this token is working. So if I go back to the project, I'm gonna need first to install the Go Fiber JWT middleware. So I'm gonna take this link right there. Oh, I think I can just take it right there. So I'm gonna have the JWT. I'm gonna put not the JWT but the HTTPS. So now I'm gonna sync those dependency, and now I'm gonna create my middleware. I'm gonna create that right there. So I'm gonna call that alt require. You can call that whatever you want. In this case, we don't really care. And this thing is gonna return another function. We're gonna return a context with the fiber.context. So now here we need to return the GWT word. So as if you look at the docs, they call it GWT word like that, the alias set, because if not, that's gonna have the same name as the GWT. So we're gonna do like that. So we want to return GWT word new, and now this thing gonna have access to some config, and if we fill all the field, this is everything we can fill up. If you look at the docs, here all the stuff you can have. They have some error handler. We're gonna use it in a moment, and they have like the signing key. So signing key is to validate token use. So that's gonna be the thing we need to pass with the GWT token. So here is the way to say, hey, I want you to validate this token against which secret or key or stuff like that. So you just put back the GWT secret like that with a slice of byte. After that, you see here they use an out scheme. So out scheme is to be used in the authorization header. So they want you to prepend the GWT token with beware. So it's kind of a best practice, not the best practice, but like a standard. So it's something you should not really change. I mean, if you want, you can, but by default it's going to be beware. So when you put it at the header, that's going to be beware. The token lockout is the other key you want to use when you want to validate the key. The user going to put his token inside that. By default authorization, again, here is it's a sender. After that, the context key. I'm going to show you what is this context key in a moment. You see here the signing method. By default, they use the HS256, so that's the one we did use right there. So 256. And yes, so right now we're gonna delete everything else than the signing key. We're gonna get some issue. Don't worry, we're gonna fix something in a moment. So now I'm gonna go back to this out hello, and I'm gonna put this out require middleware. So here for now we're gonna just send hello. That's it. And now if I go to the get request, I'm gonna keep the post. I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna do another one. So if I go to hello and I have no GWT token at all, we get this error missing or malformed GWT with a 400 byte request. This is not something I like. For me, I don't care about like if my route say, hey, you should be authenticated. I don't want to have a layer who say, hey, you miss your GWT and stuff like that. I just want to send you like a 4.1 and say, hey, you should not go there. And how you fix that? It's pretty simple. That was in the error handling. I'm gonna put that there to be in order. And this error handler take a function with two arguments: the context and the error. You can do a if error, that error, and it's equal to this error right there. I can do something like that, but in my case I don't care. If I have an error, the only thing I want to send, it's always gonna be a send of fiber unitarized, so 401 with a JSON, sorry, it should be status, with a JSON with a fiber map, we say error and unitarize. That's it. I don't want more. So now if I go back to Postman and I click send, now I get 4.1 unitarized. Hey, you don't have the token, that's it, you don't go there. So now if I take the token I have right there, I did get when we log, and I go to my headers and I click on authorization and I append that, and I send, I get again unitarized. The reason why, it's because like I told you, you need to prepend this thing with the bearer. So you need to put bearer in front of it, and now if you send it, we still get for one sec. Did I make a mistake? I'm gonna just log again back. I'm gonna take this new token. Okay, now it worked. I don't know, maybe I did badly copy, paste, and stuff like that. So now you see we get hello. So now we know we can stop a user who don't have a right JWT token or no JWT token to go to this route. But now we are able to go there. But now, how can we get the user information and be able to do some stuff with that from this JWT token? It's going to be pretty simple, okay? In your app that get here in your context, and because of the alt require stuff, now here you're going to be able to get the token by doing ctx.locals, and now here it's the key they put, and this key is the key they have add right there. Context key to store user information from the token info context. So it's the user. So I should call that user like that. And now after that you get the claim from the user that claims. Sorry, here I need to cast the type. So it's going to be a pointer to a JWT token like that. So now here I can do user that claim, and claim I'm gonna cast that to JWT map claim. And now here I'm gonna be able to get my ID by doing claims that ID. And remember, I make it as a type string when you look back right there. And this is not ID, sorry, it's sub. So now here I can format a string and say hello user with ID, and now I'm gonna put %s to put the ID right there. So now if I go back to Postman and I click get, you see now I get hello user with ID 1, because that was the ID we did put in the JWT token. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a pretty simple one. I'm gonna put all the link in the description, and also I'm gonna put this code on GitHub if you want to look at it. It's pretty simple. I don't think you're gonna need it. It's really simple. So yeah, I hope you enjoy, and we're gonna talk in the next one. Bye everyone.